Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Substance of the World.
And so now I'm going to very unfairly throw you directly under the bus and say, Sabrina, tell me about fields. What is the difference between a field? And do you think that particles are useful, or shall we just do away with particles entirely? And how are we going to continue doing physics with no particles?
Okay, so the kind of way that we learn about, I guess, like what a particle is in a quantum field theory textbook is kind of a very abstract way. You're basically, like Weinberg would tell you to look at irreducible representations of the Poincare group. And so if that is literally the definition of a particle that I guess I am like taught to internalize, it's quite abstract from, I think, like what we internalize when we're talking in a conversation like this about what we mean by something that's a particle or a field. So kind of the bigger picture takeaway that I guess that as someone practicing in like a field that's very technical and maybe doesn't necessarily always get to have fun and step back and see these bigger picture questions is, are we playing with frameworks that let you describe the kind of essence of like the particle nature when it makes sense that like you're acting at scales where this thing should be treated like some point-like object effectively, or being able to see in the quantum regimes where you have wave-like features. And so I think that there's this kind of notion of it's not really either or, it's a question of which kind of description is most accurate for which scales of interactions you're probing. And then is your framework something that includes those different facets where those effective descriptions are good? Or are you going to try to like only stick to one and say that it has to be that way?
I'd be curious, I mean, do you actually think, Sabrina, that particles are real, like actually real?
I don't know what you mean by actually real.
Okay, like, fantastic, here we are.
Yeah.
Maybe that's proof of your guys' point. I mean, do they exist? Is there an actual thing that cannot be divided? Is it real?
I mean, I think that I'd like to say that there's the abstraction, which is this like Wigner representation theory based definition, and then there's the reality, and people use the word particle to refer to both. So like to the extent that I want to say that this framework that I'm using to describe the thing that is a real object, whatever it is, then they both exist. One is a concept, one is the thing that you would call real, but they're both called particles to me, right? And so, yeah.
No, it's just not the definition of particle, right? People talked about particles long before there was such a recognized thing as the Poincare group, much less irreducible representations, right? That
But
move
what's
around.
your definition of particle?
I would say it has a well-defined location and typically moves in along a continuous trajectory through space-time. You got a problem?
No, probably, yeah, because I think I would want, yes, I do have a problem, right? Because we want to be able to create and annihilate, right? So
It looks like that if you believe there are particles, they can be created and annihilated. Sure.
Okay.
It's not part of the definition, they last forever.
Amazing. On that note, unfortunately, we have run out of time. So can we please thank our speakers? Thank you for sticking through this.